Hello all, it is I, the Deep Diver, and I want to go through my writing process when it comes to fiction. You see, there's a really big problem, many problems, but I think one of the major ones in society is boredom. Now, it's pretty banal, pretty, pretty nothing answer, like, oh, people are bored. Yeah, people are bored. You know what? You know what being bored is like? Growing up poor myself, I'll just tell you it's terrible, it's awful. You feel like you're stuck. You're not living. You're not growing. You're just surviving. You're just existing. Which I think social media and lots of other modern tools make it where people want to be paid for existing. What? Okay? And they don't want to create value or make a difference. And it's really sad. And I think it starts with stories. Think about it. People are starved for stories. Look at the box office numbers, video game sales, music, books. A lot of the entertainment industry is cratering, for lack of a better word. Now, there's been a few bright spots here and there, but still, I think it's more in the red, if you ask me, creatively and financially. And I think people are getting tired of that. People people are seeing these stories that are just cookie cutter, clip and paste, drag and drop. Just you see this one movie, you see them all, and just being bored and not knowing what to do. Now, there's many sides of that spectrum, but I want to take a notice of the Razzies. There's many awards, but I think the Razzies are very good. They mock and make fun of bad movies. If you get a Rousey, it's out of distinction for your craft being unfunny or bad. And there's nothing worse than unfunny comedy. And they'll tell you that. Now people take umbrage with this. They feel like they're not insulting they're feeling like they're insulting the author, the writer, instead of the content when they're only talking about the content. They're not saying people are bad for making this movie. They're not evil. They're not stupid. They're just boring. Which is the worst thing you can be these days, people being so addicted to their phones, YouTube, and things like that, is being boring. I remember watching a video, and the creator made a very good point. You gotta get these. Get the eyes. Get eyes on it. And when you have everybody doing that, it's hard to compete. Okay? It's race to the bottom, in my opinion. And when it comes to fiction, I take that into consideration. Like, okay, I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm not inventing a new genre of fiction or anything. I'm just trying to find my way of cooking a story, my recipe. I try to make it interesting, relatable. I sometimes try to teach morals, and all the time, I try to wonder what would I think is a good story? What do I think would most people do? Can I get some twists and turns in there? And that's why I'm not really scared of AI. Again, it's very cookie cutter, very copy and paste. And for those who like doing that, I see AI as a supplement, not the main thing. For those that are the main thing, I can't help but think that's cheapening it, yourself and your audience, when you use AI all the time. Again, once in a while, I could see the value in it. I don't use it. And I'm just saying that from my perspective, not to be the moral high ground. There really isn't any when it comes to creating, in my opinion. And I don't know. People are bored. And escapism is escaping us, which is not good. Because when I write fiction, I can write about issues or experiences or perspectives or insights that I couldn't make any other way. No. And again, when I write fiction, I try to write it in a way that's not boring. Because one of my favorite heroes of all time, Freddie Mercury, I can't remember the quote exactly. He just said, "Don't be boring." That's all you got to do is not be boring. That's me thinking about my audience, what they want to read, what they want to do. My first book's nonfiction. It was more therapy, much more therapy and therapeutic and healing than, being entertaining, which may have hurt it. I'll admit that right now. It may have hurt it very badly. I'm thinking about doing a second edition where I try to be more entertaining. But yeah, when you have a whole society of bored people, they're going to do whatever they can to get unbored. That's why I think drinking, drug consumption, and a bunch of other maladies are rising because people are bored. They're starved for stories. And they'll try to do anything they can to satisfy that hunger. Again, in relationships, creativity, everything, people are getting bored. It's always about what they want to say. They're waiting to be told. They're waiting to say what they want, their input. They don't want to take the value of the other person's. I always try to think about it from a different perspective than my own when I'm writing. Because, I'm not some monster hunter or a swashbuckling buccaneer, shocker, but I can try to get in their mind, try to figure out, try to place that archetype, that idea into my writing. And again, we're starved for stories. I hope to all that they make their own stories to create. It's easier now than it's ever been when it comes to tools, but you need the creativity, you need the spark. And honestly, there's some things you can't teach. I give this writing thing about another half a dozen books or so, and then after that, if I ain't got it, I ain't got it. That's fine. That's fair. I gave it my all. If you give 100% of what you're worth in your work, you have nothing left, literally nothing left over to feel bad about. That's what drives me. I'd rather just give it my all, just to see what I can accomplish if I went deeper, went beyond my own limitations, my own beliefs, my own limiting factors, and just flow, just dance, not be all stiff and stuff. And yeah, that's what I want to do. Again, probably never be a bestseller or whatever, but I didn't do that for this. I didn't write for money or fame. I just wanted to write stories because I knew people were starving for them. And by gosh, I'm going to try to serve the best story I can. Thank you. Have a nice day.